Hello and welcome to the Pro Tour Austin Championship match. I'm Randy Buehler. I'm here with Brian David Marshall, and we are getting to watch one for the history books.
In Game 1, Tsuyoshi Ikeda opened on a first-turn wild Nikotl, but with only a basic forest, it was a lowly 1-1. When he sacrificed Marsh Flats the following turn to find Sacred Foundry, the cat became a fully powered 3-3. Ikeda had a second cat in the form of Kasali Pride Mage, but when he attacked with his Nikotl, his opponent let the Exalted Trigger hit the stack and cast Lightning Bolt to destroy the 3-3. Tarmogoyf from the American entered the battlefield as a 3-4 and looked to hold down the fort against Ikeda's forces. That wasn't to be, however, as the Japanese player cast Path to Exile to annihilate the blocker and rumbled in for 3 with his Pride Mage. Post-combat, he had a Kurdate before shipping the turn. Brian Kibler, whose deck had the benefit of playing large threats like Baneslayer Angel to take advantage of the fact he had gotten a free land from Path, spent his turn on a land and Knight of the Reliquary. The Conflux rare entered the battlefield as a 4-4 thanks to 2 fetch lands in Kibler's graveyard. A second Path to Exile from Ikeda handled that monstrous threat as well, but Tsuyoshi had no additional creatures and simply attacked his opponent to 11. Kibler untapped and cast Elspeth, Knight Errant, making a soldier token, then Tarmogoyf number 2. Shockingly, Ikeda had a third Path to Exile, which he used on the Tarmogoyf, and Kibler smiled, unable to search up a land thanks to have already gotten all of his basics out with the first 2 paths. Ikeda cast an Umezawa Jitte, then a turn later equipped it to his Kurdape and sent both of his attackers to the red zone. Brian Kibler used a Lightning Helix to kill the Kurdate, then took 2 damage from Kasali Pride Mage. He continued building up an army of soldier tokens and then added a Tarmogoyf to the battlefield. Ikeda had tried in earnest from the get-go, but things weren't looking good for the first game of the match. He equipped his Umezawa Jitte to Kasali Pride Mage and attacked Brian. Tarmogoyf ate the cat, and Ikeda used the Jitte counter to finish off his opponent's Goyf. Brian attacked Ikeda with his twin soldier tokens before making another, and Elspeth grew to 6 loyalty counters. Ikeda drew but had nothing to help, and took 3 when Brian attacked with a triple set of soldiers. Kibler then made a 4th and passed, but Ikeda killed the untapped soldier with a Lightning Helix. The Japanese player needed some help to crawl back into the game. He found a Kurdape and cast it, equipping Umezawa Jitte to the 2-3. Brian decided to use a Path to Exile of his own on his opponent's Kurdape, then attacked with his team, losing 1 soldier to his Jitte activation. Post-combat, the American had Wild Nikotl, with Elspeth hitting the full 8 loyalty counters after making a replacement soldier. Thanks to Path to Exile, Tsuyoshi Ikeda had managed to get the 3rd white he needed for Spectral Procession, finding 3 tokens of his own to keep up with his opponent's Elspeth. Ikeda passed the turn on a wing and a prayer, but Brian had the crushing Punishing Fire. With a plethora of lands on the board, including multiple Grove of the Burn Willows, Brian machine-gunned his opponent's tokens, then attacked for 6 damage. A second Spectral Procession for Tsuyoshi yielded him 3 more Spirit tokens, and he tapped out to equip 1 with the Umezawa Jitte. Brian untapped, then used Punishing Fire to kill 2 of the tokens, including the one that had been equipped. He rumbled into the red zone, but Tsuyoshi opted to not block, taking the damage. Kibler made a 5th soldier and passed. Ikeda equipped his Lone Spirit, attacked, but had his effort to get Jitte going destroyed by a Path to Exile on the 1-1 from his opponent. Out of options, the Japanese standout conceded. Kibler leads 1 game to Ikeda's 0.